Hey, 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 I like starting early. I like starting early. Let me just say that this is live on YouTube and Facebook. You may not be able to see the comments on Facebook. I may not be able to see all of the comments, but I encourage you as you enter the space to pay attention to your comfort. Make sure that not only are you sitting, standing, laying down in a comfortable space, but that you're not impacting other people. Um, just because you're quiet doesn't mean that your presence doesn't impact other people. So, comfort is a two-way street. Make sure that you are comfortable and anyone around you is also comfortable. There may be things that I say, there may be things that come up for you that could impact other people around you. Please be mindful in the comments that this is a shared space and all comments that are uplifting to this space are welcome. Anything disparaging, distracting will be removed because we don't have time for that. Happy Sunday, everyone. I am Coach Yolanda, spiritual life coach, Reiki master, certified perinatal educator, massage technician, on and on and on and on, owner of Evolving Spirit Wellness. And it is my pleasure to be in front of you once again, whether you are watching live or you are catching the replay. It is an honor to be in communion with you. There are so many other things you could be doing in this moment. The fact that you are here with me is a blessing. So let me know who you are, where you're from. There was a previous request in terms of the focus of this meditation that I think all of us can resonate with. When you have a deep desire, when there's something within you that you really, really want badly, you can't think of anything else. How do you deal with it? How do you hold those thoughts and those emotions in your body? And so I have some thoughts and insight in how we can do that and how we can manage that through meditation. Meditation is a space where you get to calm your brain activity down to a point where you can hear what you need to hear. The answers that we are always looking for are within us. Sometimes things get in the way and we can't hear ourselves clearly, either because we're listening to so many other voices, or because we haven't been trusting ourselves, or because people keep telling us that we're wrong and we internalize that and feel like we can't trust our own intuition. Meditation helps you with that. It strengthens that intuition muscle that we find in the third eye. We think that we just have these abilities and that they come and go. No, you have to practice. You have to exercise those muscles. Meditation is one of the ways in which you exercise your intuition muscle. And so the request was centered around a desire. The particular request came from someone who really, really wants something and recognizes that they can't think of anything else and it's impacting their day to day life. Um, and I gather that they're feeling bad about it or feeling like it's something that they need to fix. Anytime there's a disruption in our spirit doesn't mean that there's something that needs to be fixed. Perhaps there is something that needs to be listened to. And so our meditation, hey there, our meditation today is going to be centered around listening, around supporting the desires of our heart. You know that thing that you just cannot stop thinking about. And hopefully it's something, the thing that you are desiring, that doesn't belong to someone else. I hope you're not coveting other people's stuff, whether it's other people's people, places, things. I hope you are not coveting someone else's lifestyle. I hope you are not desiring something that someone else has. That's not what this is about. This is about a clear desire in your being. And so perhaps it's not really about the desire itself, it's what you're telling yourself about the desire. Do you think you deserve it? Do you think it will happen? Do you believe that it will happen for you? Because perhaps you've maybe seen it happen for other people. What you do know is that you can't stop thinking about it. You can't stop thinking about that thing. And so, again, the request was, how do I hold this energy in my body? How do I find some comfort with wanting something so desperately? And I'm not going to say exactly what it is. The request came from someone who I know, and but it's not something that all of us cannot resonate with. And so, as I said, you enter the space, make sure that you're comfortable, make sure that if there are other people around you, that they are comfortable with you meditating. We don't want to impact anybody else's peace, and we don't want our peace impacted. And so, make sure that you are coming into this right now moment. What did I do with my bell? My bell is around here somewhere. I just said there's a whole lot of activity going on in my house. So, if you happen to hear some stuff in the background, pay no attention to it. Let us focus on this right now moment. That is one of the benefits of meditation, that even when things are going on around you, you can still stay centered and focused in what it is you want to hear. Meditation allows you to hear. You hear my dog? Meditation allows you to hear clearly and profoundly. And so let's get ready to enter into meditation. Continue to take some deep breaths. If there are questions, comments, or concerns that you have, you can put them in the chat. Again, things may not post on Facebook. They will certainly post on YouTube. Be mindful that we are in a shared space. And if there's something that comes up for you and you want to share it, that you will be sharing it with others. Also, be mindful that at any time, if you feel discomfort, if something comes up for you and you don't feel like you can handle it, then that would be a good time for you to say, I'm going to stop right now. This is recording. You can come back to it later. I don't want anyone to feel like they have to force themselves into anything. And so let's start with some deep breaths. If you feel led to place your hand at your heart and perhaps place your hand right above your navel, right above your belly button at your solar plexus. That is the energy center that is holding your mental energies of what you believe about yourself. And if there are things within your spirit that you desire, now would be a good time to get in touch with what you think about yourself in regards to, do you deserve the thing that is within your heart as we meditate on desire? Desire can be defined in so many different ways. It could be longing. It could be what's in my heart that I'm connecting to everything. It's what I see when I wake up. It's what I feel when I go to bed. It is that thing, that energy that I just cannot stop thinking about. I want it so bad. I want it so bad. Let's take 3 deep breaths. Come into this right now moment. If you feel led to let your eyelids fall, then that's okay. We don't have any music playing in the background because right now in this moment, we're going to listen to the music of our heart. We're going to listen to the rhythm of our breath. We're going to let that guide us as we go deeper and deeper into a meditative state. We are going to rely on us. We are going to rely on our rhythm that is within our body. Continue to breathe. Continue to breathe. Continue to breathe. Place yourself in an energy of comfort. You've done all of the work to come to this right now moment where we are together on one accord to talk about the desires of your heart, what is in your bone, what is in your body, what you feel, what you think. And if you have your hand over your heart center, let your heartbeat, like your breath, guide you into a place where you are pouring out all of the thoughts and all of the feelings that may be clouding your brain at this moment. We want to pour out whatever cannot serve us in this moment. We want to prepare ourselves energetically to receive the messages that we need when it comes to what's resting in our heart. And as the request has been made, I really believe that it has been made on behalf of all of us who are at a place in our life when there are particular things that we are feeling that we want, not out of desperation, but because we know who we are and we know that we want this thing in our spirit. Hmm. Continue to breathe. Continue to pour out. And as you pour out, you are going to be creating space for you to do an examination, quick examination on what remains, getting all of the other things out of the way, the voices of other people, the confusion and chaos that we might be finding in the world, and centering on what's in your heart at this right now moment. What is it that you are feeling that feels as though it is in the beginning spaces of your heart? Again, when you wake up in the morning, it's what you focus on. And you may not ever have spoken it to another soul. It may just be your thing, your dream that you haven't shared. Maybe you have shared it with others. Maybe the desire is love. Maybe the desire is peace. Maybe the desire is to be left alone. Maybe you are in a situation, maybe a relationship or in some other circumstances where you know you don't want to be in and you desperately want to remove yourself from that situation. Maybe it's a state of being of finances. You have a desire where you no longer want to be in the financial position that you are in. And you may not be telling anyone else that this is going on for you, but you know it's in your heart. Whatever the desire, whatever the longing, whatever the energy that is within you, we're going to meet that. Knowing that we are all unique and we all have different desires, now is the opportunity for you to take full control in this meditative moment as I guide us into the space where we will feel in control of the desires of our heart and not feel ashamed about wanting something, not feeling ashamed about saying, I want that in my life. I recognize that there are parts of my life that feel incomplete. And I'm going to be vulnerable enough with myself to speak the truth. And perhaps I might get to a place where I am vulnerable with other people so that I can clearly and definitively say, I desire this particular thing in my life, and I'm not going to be resistant to getting it. Let's say it's love. So let's all take a deep breath. Think about the love that's in our life and the love that we would like to create. Doesn't mean that you're not in a loving relationship. Maybe you want to expand it. Maybe you want to deepen it. Maybe you would like to relate to people in your family on a deeper level. Maybe that's the request in your heart. Let's breathe into that in this moment. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you desiring more love. Love is abundant and it flows freely. And if you feel though as though it is not flowing freely in your life, there is nothing wrong with you wanting to increase your capacity to give and receive love. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's take a deep breath and speak into that truth. Connect with the spaces in your mind, in your body, in your spirit that could use more love, that you are requesting more love, and have faith that with your request, it will be heard. Many of us are afraid to speak about the desires of our heart because we're afraid of being disappointed. Perhaps you have been disappointed in the past and you have told yourself, this is just not going to happen for me. Or I had it and I lost it. or it just doesn't seem to be possible. I'm trying, and nothing seems to work. I would offer that you take a deep breath in this moment. Instead of centering on the doing that you have entered into, and focus on the desire itself. Tell yourself the truth and what you believe it will do in your life to have this thing that you desire. If it is love, in your family, in your friendships, in your romantic relationships, an increase of love. What if I could get to a point in every human interaction that I have that it be a loving one? Or perhaps the relationship that you desire to have a loving relationship with is the one you have with yourself. How can I get to a level of intimacy with me? Because I want that more than anything. How can I stop the negative thoughts, the negative behavior that seems to run my life right now and get in the way of me having the life that I desire? How can I stop with the self sabotaging thoughts? Take a breath and envision yourself right now, sitting, standing, laying down, in a place of perfect peace. You get to decide what that place looks like. It's your creation. Envision yourself in that place in this moment where all things are loving, where you are surrounded by an overflowing, abundant amounts of love. All things are well around you and within you. You have a healthy self esteem, a healthy self value. You are able to communicate your wants and needs and desires freely with the people that you are in relationship with. Your family feels harmonious and balanced. There are no things that you need to do in order to make it through the day. You are making it quite well, just as you are. If that is the peace, if that is the love, if that is the desire of your heart, envision what it looks like now. What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What does it sound like? And now envision who is the first person that you would invite into this space of harmony, this space of balance. And we're just talking about loving relationships right now, if that is your desire, whether it is romantic, family, friends, hell, even strangers. What does that look like for you? And are you willing to do what you need to do to envision that thing for yourself right now? Putting aside all of the commentary of, oh, it can't happen because this person is this way, and oh, it can't happen because I'm this way. In this space, in this right now moment where we are meditating together, all things are as we desire them to be. Allow yourself, allow your body to relax into that visualization right now. Perhaps there's someone loving on you, the first person that you are inviting into that space. Maybe it's your children, maybe it's your parents, siblings, or maybe it's your heart's desire. They may not have a name or a face, but they have an energy. You are calling them into your heart in this right now moment. Don't be afraid to make the call, to open up your heart. In this space, we're safe. We can do that. Knowing that all things are created in spirit first, why not take a chance and allow yourself to be in love in the way that you desire in this right now moment? Take a full deep breath and declare that right now I am in the best love I have ever been in. Right now, I can feel it in my body. The love that I've always desired, that I felt has been denied for far too long, is with me right now. Take a deep breath. And if your hand is at your heart, listen to what your heart is saying at this moment. Maybe there is some doubt that is springing up right now. We're going to put that to the side because we are in our perfect place of peace, where all things are well and as we desire. And the love that we desire in our life is a real thing right now. We are not waiting for the perfect opportunity. We're not waiting for us to lose weight, to grow our hair, to get younger, to get older. We're not waiting for anything. Right here, right now, that love that we desire with our friends, with our family, romantic love, all of the love that your heart can hold and then some is present within you in this right now moment. Breathe into that and feel it. And you need to feel it so that when it begins to happen, you recognize it. Imagine what that is going to be like. And if there is something within you in this moment that is saying it is not possible, pour that out to the side. We are releasing anything that keeps us resistant to the love that we are deserving. And you are deserving. You absolutely are deserving. And so let's expand a moment to not just include the love with others and the love for ourselves. Perhaps we want to expand the financial sector of our life. Maybe our money is funny and we don't like it. We want to experience expansion in our finances, in our checking accounts, in our credit accounts, our credit scores, everywhere your finances touch and make a difference in your life. Maybe that's the desire of your heart. More money. Is it wrong to desire more money? No. Is that desire for more money so that your life is easier and the life of those that you impact can be different? What could be wrong about that? When they say, the root of all evil is money, it's not the actual money, it's the impact that that money can have in our lives. But if your intentions for increasing your financial sector of your life are pure, then let's breathe into that truth. If I am doing better financially, then I can do better in the lives of others. And so if I desire for my finances to be doubled, tripled, then let me hold that energy in my heart. I'm going to claim it. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm looking for expansion. And if it is something that you agree with and you feel it in your heart because you know it will impact the conditions of your life and the life of those that you love, then what could be wrong about that? And remember the place that you are in right now, this perfect place of peace where you get to decide what that looks like. What does it feel like? What does it sound like for you to have the financial stability that you desire? Unlimited supply. What is that going to look like in your life? My goodness. The thought alone makes me smile. I hope that it brings joy into your heart to think that at any moment, that financial increase that you desire is nothing that you should be ashamed of. Because if you want something, how can you be ashamed of it? We don't want those conflicting energies in our spirit. So let's pour that out. Anything that is impacting our ability to increase ourselves financially, let us remove it in this perfect place of peace. And let's meditate on that financial expansion. As long as it is not doing harm to anyone else or harm in my life, let my accounts blow all the way up. Let the commas come one after another, after another, after another. What is that going to feel like for you? To be in the financial position that you desire to be in. If you feel bad about it, then you can't get there. If there's something that's impacting you greatly, with that possibility of you increasing your finances where you are not harming yourself or harming anyone else, you can't get there. If there's something in the way, if there's some resistance, if there's some voice in your head that says you don't deserve it, then you won't deserve it. So let's pour that out in this right now moment. Let's take a deep breath. as we expand the desire of our financial position, there's nothing to be ashamed about. When it comes to you increasing abundance in your life, you should not be ashamed about it. Because if you are ashamed about it, then you're afraid of it. And if you're afraid of it, then how can you call it into your experience? So take a deep breath. And whether you are sitting or standing or laying down, remember you are surrounded in perfect peace. This is a place that you have created. And in that place, the increase in finances that you desire is yours. It is yours now. And if there is anything within your spirit, whether it's yours or someone else's, that is seeking to diminish your desire to be financially well, we want that thing gone. Meditation is the space in where you receive messages. And so perhaps in this right now moment, or as you are quieting all of that energy in your mind, you will be able to touch that abundant place where you feel good about wanting to increase yourself financially. If you hold shame, if you hold guilt, and there are many of us that hold guilt around our finances, there cannot be an increase where you are holding a decrease. So take a full breath and say in this moment, I want anything that is impacting my ability to increase my finances to be eliminated from my life. And if that thing happens to be my own thinking, then let's raise that up in this right now moment. Take a deep breath and believe it to be so, that you can increase things in your life when you change the way in which you think about those things. I hear you. Listen, we can't be out here wanting stuff and being afraid of it at the same time. If you want it, you better claim it. And you better recognize that you deserve it and that it is yours now. Not when you get this, not when you get that, not when you deem yourself to be worthy. You are worthy right now. Take a deep breath into that and declare for yourself, I am worthy and deserving of love. I am worthy and deserving of an increase in my finances because I know what it will do for my life and for the life of others. We are not here to harm or hurt anyone, but we cannot hold energy in our body that impacts the desires of our heart. You better believe you deserve it. And so breathe into that. And as we are still in this perfect place of peace where we get to decide what is coming in, we've invited someone in. Maybe you want to invite some other folks into your space. Maybe you want to invite someone else into this abundance that you are creating, making sure that they recognize what energy it takes to be in your space. Meditate on that. When you think about the desires of your heart, and if I am stepping on anyone's toes, it's on purpose. When you think about the desires of your heart, are there individuals in your life right now who impact your ability to get the things that you desire? Tell the truth on that. Because if letting go of people, places, or things are necessary for you to get to those things that you desire, let's take a breath and think about the perfect place of peace that we are in right now, what it took to get to this place. We had to dump out all of the things that no longer serve us. Sometimes those things are people whose voices may be so loud that it impacts your ability to connect with the things that you desire. Take a deep breath and ask yourself and be honest. Am I putting more energy into other people's desires than my own? Perhaps that is the thing that is getting in the way. That other people's desires have become more important than your own. And knowing that we are not one dimensional beings and that with our breath alone, we can change the energy of anything we desire. Let's change that energy in this moment by declaring, my desires are deserving of the fullness of me. What I am giving to others, I deserve to give to myself abundantly. So take a deep breath and recognize that the things that you want in your life are not wrong. You can't feel bad about something that you want as long as it's not harming you or harming someone else. We're not trying to beat anybody else up to get the things that we want. We don't want someone else to lose just so that we win, because the world, the universe is abundant. No one has to lose. No one has to go without. That is one of the biggest lies that has ever been told, that somehow, in order for some people to get, other people have to lose. That goes against the natural, universal life, spiritual law. No one has to lose. And so, if that is in your consciousness where you feel like you don't deserve to get because that means someone goes without, trust me, there is enough for everyone to receive as long as we are honorable in our requests. I'm not taking from you, you're not taking from me. And in this place of perfect peace that we have created within this meditative space, I'm going to see that everyone gets what they desire as long as it is positive for the collective consciousness. Everyone can win because the universe is abundant. And if I am calling for more love in my life, increased finances, then I have to want that for myself and for all. And so let's go into that perfect place of peace. If there is a shred of energy within our beings where we think someone else has to lose or we can't pour into ourselves because we're so busy pouring into other people, let us eliminate that thought, that feeling. You do not have to be the be all and end all for someone else to get their dream. We all have the ability to create for ourselves. And if you are looking at people as superior to you or inferior to you, then you're doing that to yourself as well. And so let's take a breath, recognize and realize that it's not the desires of our heart that are wrong. It could be all of those energies that are in the way that's placing us in either a victim or a villain role. You're not a victim and you're not a villain. You're human. And as humans, we always have the ability to transform and to change. And so, if there is something within us that we need to transform or change so that the desires of our heart become a reality, then let's request that. Let's be sure that in this perfect place of peace that we have created in this meditation, through our breath, through the visualization, we now believe that everybody wins, that everyone wins. That what is in my heart cannot be more important than what's in your heart, and vice versa. I can't want for you what I don't want for myself, and I can't want for myself what I don't want for you. I can't ask for more love if I'm not willing to be more loving. I can't ask for financial blessings if I'm not willing to share in those finances. And the world may look like a place of the have and the have nots, but when we look inside our spirit, inside our soul, where we want things to be pure and in harmony, I cannot desire for myself without recognizing and realizing that other people have desires as well. And they are also deserving of those desires as long as they are not hurting or harming anyone else or impacting anyone's ability to live a good life, a free life, an honorable life, a sacred life. And in this perfect place of peace where you are asking for the desires of your heart, they may not be known to me or anyone else, but you know what they are. You cannot be afraid of them. You cannot be afraid to speak them. You cannot be afraid to pour into them. You cannot be afraid and allow the language of your heart to not match what it is you know that you want, so that all things are aligned within our body, within our being, in this right now moment, in this place of perfect peace. Let us be mindful that we are responsible for the balance that we seek through our actions, through our feelings, through our thoughts. And that if there is something living within inside of you, it's yours. Claim it. Be proud of it. Declare that nothing is going to keep you from it. Do not allow conflicting energies to live in your body that deny you the privilege of allowing what you desire to become a reality. Let no one else's behavior impact your ability to love yourself and to love the things that you love. They don't have to understand it. It's not for them, it's for you. And as we continue to breathe in that energy, well, we have just said that we are no longer holding energy that's contrary to the desires of our heart. If I believe it to be so, it will be so. If it's a relationship I want and I believe it to be so, it will be so. I'm not going to let other people's commentary tell me that it's not possible, because it would not be in my heart as a thing if it was not supposed to be real. You could not possibly think that the God of your understanding would be so cruel to drop something down in your spirit for you not to have it, or for you not to dream about it, for you not to be inspired by it. So if it is in there, if it's in your being, in your bones, in your blood, then let it become a reality. Let whatever is in the way move out the way. Create your places of perfect peace where you can sit in a meditative state and think only about the things that you desire, so that you can hear the messages that will allow you to make choices that align with those desires. Do not hold the energy in your body that it's not possible, because then it will not be possible. Breathe into the knowledge that one of the most powerful things that you can do for yourself is to believe in yourself, is to trust yourself. And while you may not know the particulars of how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, just stay in the energy of, this is mine. It's in my spirit. And I believe it to be true. It has been created in spirit, and it will manifest physically to become a reality in my life. And every choice that I make is going to align with that reality. Every decision that I make is going to align with that reality. Every place that I go, and places and people that I surround myself, is going to be in support of that reality, that my desires of my heart are absolutely possible. Absolutely possible. And so, as we continue to breathe, check in with your body in this moment. See how you're feeling about the things that you are longing for, that you desire, that you can't stop thinking about. I hope in this right now moment you feel a whole lot stronger about them now than when we started. Doesn't mean that it's an immediate thing, but you planted a seed. We planted seeds in this meditative state, in this one accord instance that we are all connected and involved in. We did that. We showed up for ourselves. And maybe you listen to this or other meditations over and over and over to remind yourself of just how powerful you are, to remind yourself how you have the ability at any moment to shift into believing that the desires of my heart are possible and I am deserving of them. Whether it's love, whether it's finances, whether it's peace, whether it's a new place to live, whatever you envision, it's yours. You created it. Stay with it. Don't give up on it. Check in with your body right now. See how you're feeling. As we come back around to the reality of where we are and what is going on around us, perhaps you are willing to share. You can share in the comments if you want, if you desire. I can tell you, as someone who constantly needs reassurance that I'm on the right path, that I'm doing what I need to do, I always need to sit with myself and meditate. What is it that you said you wanted, Yolanda? What is the thing that you said you couldn't stop thinking about? If you want it, then speak it, live it. Don't be ashamed of it. Because often we have conflicting energies in our bodies. We say we want loving relationships, and then we go around telling people, I don't want to be bothered. I don't want nobody in my space. Those are two conflicting energies. Be clear about what it is that you want. How is it going to find you if you're so unclear about what it is and that you're saying one thing, but you're holding something else in your heart? It's not necessary for you to do so. It is not necessary any longer for you to pretend that you don't want the things that you know you want. You want to make more money, but you're afraid. What if it doesn't work out? What if I fail? You're not going to fail. You're going to learn something. And that's going to prepare you for the next time that thing comes around. You'll do it differently. But what if I go on a date and it doesn't work? Then you go on the next date and the next and the next until you find your comfort. Just think of if we ever stop doing the things that we need to do to live. Just think if your next breath didn't come out the way that you wanted and you said, oh, that's it, I'm just going to give up breathing. Or if the meal that you just ate wasn't satisfying, you say, well, I'm just going to give up eating. No, you don't give up living. So why would you give up on the things that are in your heart that are bothering you, that you can't stop thinking about? Every time you see it somewhere in existence, you're like, oh, I wish that was me. Oh, I wish I was on that island, or oh, I wish I was, in that space, or oh, I wish I was doing that thing. Are you going to wish your life away? The time is going to pass anyway. You might as well get to pouring into those things. Or are you so busy making sure that everybody else has what they need that you're not leaving space for you? Don't do that to yourself. If you needed to hear this message, let me know in the comments, because I know I'm not alone in knowing that sometimes I need a push to refocus my energies on the things that I say that I want. And I've gotten to a certain age in my life where I used to say, well, when my kids are older or when this has happened, the time is going to pass anyway. Pour into those things you say you want, you say you love, you say you can't do without. If you want a relationship, then act like you want one. Instead of all of your languaging being around how these people ain't this and I can't find that and this is never going to happen, then it's never going to happen. If that's the position that you want to take, the position of negativity, be my guest. But don't be surprised when it doesn't happen. I had to come to that realization. I cannot say I want someone in my life and then behave like I don't want somebody in my life. I have to tell the truth. And so if anyone asks me, do you want someone in your life? I absolutely do. And I'm willing to do my personal work to make it a reality. It's not someone else's responsibility. It's mine because I said I want it. If I want financial abundance, and I do, then I have to do the things that are necessary for that to be a reality. It's not somebody else's responsibility. But sometimes we let other people's stuff get in the way. When other people say, oh, I failed at this, or this is never going to work, we internalize that and it makes us feel like, well, why should I try? Why should I put myself out there? You know, my girlfriend, my friends are not having success. So why should I try? Because you are you and you are unique to the way in which you do things and the way in which you heal yourself. And it doesn't make any of us bad people. Again, I beat myself up every day. I am constantly having to reassure myself, who are you, Yolanda, to think that you want the level of success that you want? Who are you to think that? Well, it's in my spirit. What am I supposed to do with it? It's what I see, it's what I feel, it's what won't leave me alone. So obviously, it's mine. I have to face it and tell the truth. Yeah, I want that. Yes, I want that measure of success. Yes, I want millions of dollars flowing in my life so that I can do what I love to do without worry of finances and so that I can help as many people as I can. I'm not going to be ashamed and say that I'm far off from having the millions that I want, but I'm going to get it. Rest assured, I'm going to get it. I don't know how, but I know I am. And I'm not going to be ashamed. You know, we have this thing with us that we're ashamed to talk about money. Oh, you're not supposed to talk. I'm going to talk about money. I want millions. I want more than enough. There are places in my life that I want to be, and I will be there. Not sure how it's going to work out, but I know it will as long as I stay focused. And so, yeah, I know I'm not alone in that. And we can't think that we get to particular levels in our life and we no longer think that. Even me, who works with people every single day on their goals, on their visions, still has a vision that I have to pour into, that I have to stay focused on. Because if I don't, it's not going to be a reality. There's no magic wand or no dust that I can sprinkle that all things are just going to happen, whether it's relationships. If I want my friendships to be better, I have to be better. If I want, all of the relationships in my life to be more loving, I have to be more loving. If I want my money to be right, I got to be right with the money that I do have. If I only got $2, I got to be a good steward over those $2 so I can be a good steward over $2 million. I have to do my work, but I'm going to get what I want. I always do. And so, if that is true for you, then I hope that you placing yourself in a meditative state shows you it's not the desire that's wrong. It may be the way you're holding it in your consciousness. If you feel some kind of way about it where you're afraid to talk about it, then you have to ask yourself why. Why am I afraid of this thing? Am I telling myself that I don't deserve it? Is somebody else's voice from the past who told me I wasn't deserving of good things? Is that voice still loud in my ear, in my brain? Am I talking myself out of things, sabotaging? Am I listening to things? We don't always recognize that we are absorbing other people's energy. So if you are listening to people who are talking negatively about the things that you want, because there's a difference between people having constructive criticism versus just talking negatively. Constructive criticism is still rooted in, I want you to win. And so let's look at the areas that you might need to change so that you win. Not, the negativity that says you're not going to win because you this, you that, you're never going to be enough. Or you need to change everything about you. We don't need that level of negativity in our life. So pay attention to the things that you are listening to, the television that you're watching. You might think it's mindless entertainment, but we absorb that stuff. If you watch enough reality TV, which is not real, you may start to believe All relationships look like that. All families look like that. All friendships look like that, where people are actually frenemies instead of friends. That's not real. Start to envision what your friendships, what your relationships look like. And then you become the embodiment of that. Start to think, what are you going to look like with $2 million in your bank? And then you embody that, creating principles in your life, values and ethics in your life for how you are behaving as a millionaire or a billionaire. Don't let me limit the financial picture that you have painted for yourself. Or maybe that's not your desire, and that's okay too. Some people want to learn how to live with less. There's nothing wrong with any desire that you have in your life as long as you are not hurting yourself or someone else. If you want to learn to live with less, bravo, brava. Pour yourself into that on what that's going to look like for you. And so, if there are any comments, concerns, questions before we officially disconnect, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'm so grateful for your energy, for your space, for your support. I'm grateful that we have this medium that we can meditate together, because I am of the belief when people say, I don't know how to meditate, maybe you change the way you meditate. And as you can see, the way that I meditate it can be different. This is not the only way that I meditate. There are so many different ways in which to get into that meditative state, to raise the energy in your body, to listen to the messages that you just may not be able to hear when other things are going on. And I'm so grateful for you, Miss Turner, for all of your support, your love. It means so much to me. Thank you. Audible Darkness, I thank you for your support. If there are other comments, concerns, or love you want to share, now would be a good time to do it. I'm hoping and trusting that this week will be the week that you get very, very clear about the desires of your heart and you start telling the truth about what it is that you want. Tell the truth, the whole truth. Do you really want things in your life that you don't see? Oh, thank you for that, Giselle. And there is a question. Does stating statistics make it more true? You're not supposed to answer a question with a question. Does it make it more true for you? Because for some people, numbers, numerology means a lot. So if it makes it more true for you, then I would say yes. For other people, such as myself, the statistics of is it possible don't matter. It's how do I feel about it? How strongly do I feel about it? And can I connect to why I feel so strongly about it? Now, energetically, one could say if you believe at least 51% that something is true, then you're more likely to stay with it. But not everyone believes in, or let me not say believe, not everyone uses that as motivation. You know, right now I'm in a program to lose weight. When I get on the scale, it means nothing to me, whether I'm at one weight or another weight. What really means something to me is how I feel, because I'm more in touch with how I'm feeling. And so my health coach, she's like, well, I want you to lose a pound a week. Well, that statistically is doable. And yeah, I could use that as motivation, but that's not what motivates me. I'm motivated by how I feel, how my clothes fit. That is the motivating factor to me. And even though I understand that percentages mean a lot in terms of what I'm eating, how much I'm exercising, all of that, for me, the motivating factor is how I feel. Now, when it comes to the laws of attraction, anything negative, as we were meditating and I was saying holding contradictory energies. So if you're saying, I want this thing to happen, but you're also saying, I don't believe it's true. That's two conflicting energies. So, how are you going to attract the thing that you desire when this other thing is a barrier to that? And so, again, what does negative mean to you? That would be my other question. What does negative, a negative fact? Because if someone comes to me with constructive criticism, even if I don't want to hear it, it may be what I need to hear in order for me to make a change. And so I'm always asking questions when someone asks me a question. And so, what um, impact are these negative facts having on you? Now, for me, I'm always looking at what investment does this person have in sharing this information with me? Is it somebody that really wants me to win? Because if it's someone who really wants me to win, then it might be more constructive criticism. I'll give you an example. And I always give this example. Um, in my dating life, there has been a similar comment from the men that I have been in relationship with. They have, and they don't know each other, so they didn't get together to create this negative fact. I have to accept that it is a reality because more than one person has experienced it. They don't know each other, and there's really no motivation for them to say it because it didn't lead us to being back in relationship. They weren't saying it because they wanted to hurt me or harm me. I asked them a question. Well, what's the one thing that I could have done differently? It's like, well, you were never communicating your feelings. You didn't tell me that you liked me, you loved me. More than three men have said this. I have to take that as constructive criticism and not a negative fact. Now, if one man had said it and he kept saying it, I probably would have taken it as a negative fact of, oh, he's trying to hurt my feelings because the relationship didn't work. Um, so I guess my answer to your question is yes, negative facts can impact whether things happen, but you get to decide, is this a negative fact or is this constructive criticism? Is it the truth? And that comes from knowing who you are and knowing that if someone is telling you something and their intentions are pure, and you know that their investment is in you being a bigger person, better person, more whatever, expansion, then you have to be able to listen to it. Doesn't mean that it's 100% true, but there may be some ring of truth to it, and it's worth you investigating. And when I did some investigation, they were absolutely right because I was in the past holding in my consciousness. I'm not going to tell nobody if I like them. I'm going to let them figure it out. And that got in the way of me being vulnerable and intimate in relationships. And so when it comes to the law of attraction, when it comes to any spiritual law, anything in the way is going to negate the thing that you desire. And so we have to be truthful. That is it the desire? So if I say I want more money, it's not the more money that's the issue. It's what am I saying about more money coming into my life? That I'm horrible with money, that if I get more money, I'm going to find some friends and family that I haven't seen in a while, and then people are going to start asking me for stuff. Like, really get to the root of what your fear may be when it comes to your desire. If it's a relationship, be very clear. What are you telling yourself? I was hurt in the past and I don't want to get hurt in the future. Okay. No one wants to get hurt. No one wants to get hurt. But if you say you want something and you're letting past hurt keep you from getting it, you're not going to be able to get it. Or at the very least, if you do get it, that fear is going to be running everything because it's present. And so I would offer that you face it and tell the truth about it. I'm afraid of getting hurt. And so, what things can I do? You may not be able to stop the hurt from happening, but how can I do my own personal work so that if the hurt happens, I don't fall apart. I don't break apart. Right now in my life, I am in a dating situation. If it doesn't work, I'm not going to fall apart. If it works, beautiful. If it doesn't, I'm not going to fall apart. I've bounced back from harder things than this. And so I hope that that answered your question. And thank you for asking it. It's a great question. But yeah, we have to be mindful of the negative energy around us, even if you're just in it, in a toxic environment, you're absorbing it. You're absorbing it. And it could become attached to something within you. And the next thing you know, you start doubting yourself. You start questioning, do I really want this? Maybe I don't want this. Maybe I want something else. And so be mindful of the spaces that you enter into. And if there are negative energy, if there's negative facts or statistics, the statistic of how many people are breaking up, okay, that may be true for them. And I'm not demonizing anyone who has had to end a relationship. I am saying for me, this is what I want in my life. I cannot let the statistics that may not include the factors in my life to run my life. We have to be clear about what it is that we want and not get discouraged because it may not be happening in other places. Someone always has to be the first to do something. Every time I see someone, oh, this is the first person who's done da 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 da, it's like somebody had to be the first. Somebody had to prove all of the other things wrong so that it creates the space for more people to believe in the possibility that that can happen. And so I'm hoping and I'm trusting that this meditation and what you do in your meditative spaces to renew and restore your connection to the things that you want in your life. It's not the desire. Sometimes we place the blame of the desire if it's not happening. Well, I'm just asking for too much. You could never ask for too much. The universe is abundant. You could never ask for too much. You are deserving of that and more. There is so much. Don't limit yourself by thinking, I just want a little bit. I just want enough. No, ask for all of it. Ask for all of it and believe that you deserve it. Giselle, I'm grateful that you got what you needed. I did too, because again, it's continuous. This pumping ourselves up and staying focused on the things that we say we want, particularly when there is so much negativity around us, it's not easy. I never said anything about any of this being easy, because it's not. It can feel like you're constantly being discouraged. What I'm saying to you today is work on that. Work on that. Focus on that. Don't get twisted up in how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, who's going to be there. You focus on how are you going to feel when this becomes a reality, and create that now. If it is your belief that if you get to a particular point of financial freedom or financial independence or abundance in your life, that you will feel at peace, be at peace now. Create that peace in your life now. If you believe that if you get in a relationship with someone that it will bring harmony, balance, freedom, whatever you believe that it's going to bring into your life, you be that now. Behave as if you are already in it so that you know what the requirements are. So that, like Yolanda, who had to hear constructive criticism, you don't tell people you love them. I have to tell everybody now. I love y'all. Every single one of you in this space. I love you. And we've been studying love. I have a group in the morning. We meet on Clubhouse. Every morning we say, I love you. I want to be so comfortable saying I love you that I never forget to say it in any of my relationships. I took that constructive criticism and I've turned it into something that works for me instead of holding it in my body as a negative fact. It wasn't a negative fact. It was their truth. I got to process it. It was the truth. And so now I'm mindful. I can't do that. So I'm going to tell everybody, I love you. I'm going to express my love freely and openly so that I never have that experience again where anyone that I'm in relationship says, I don't know if you love me or not. That's how I'm pouring into the thing that I say that I want by changing that behavior. And we all have the ability to do that, but we got to tell the truth first. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, each and every single one of you. Is there any other comment, question, concern? If there's any time that I can do anything for you, please go to my website, yolandatool.com. There are buttons there for you to get on my calendar where we can have further discussions. I offer complimentary phone calls, one complimentary phone call where we could talk about anything you want to talk about. Let's stay connected. I'll be doing this every Sunday, knock on wood, because it's good for my spirit and it's what I've been called to do. And I'm so grateful that you allow me to do that. Have a peaceful rest of your Sunday. And if there's anything that I can do, please let me know. I love you.